increase at the end of this month. So 116 times 12 times 20 is $44,000. That's what you'll pay Dominion if you continue to stay with them, if the rates never go up again. Which that number is really probably closer to 65,000 with your rate increases. So this is just on an annual rate increase of 4%. So that same $186 bill that you guys pay now for that same amount of energy will cost you, if this thing will slide, $227. In 10 years, $276. In 15 years, $336. And 20 years, by the time you'll have paid all, this off, because this is on a 20-year term, $408 a month for the same amount of power that you're using now. While you could continue to pay that or be locked in at the 113. And at this point, you'll have paid this off, so you won't have a power bill at all. Everything that we do is on the 25-year warranty, so you'll have 5 more years of worry-free warranty power. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So over the course of that same 25-year period, you'll put about $55,000 back in your pocket. So the total system cost, total amount of the project is $37,000, right? Mm-hmm. Even if the tax credits weren't a thing, that's still cheaper than the $44,000 that you'll pay with Dominion, even if your rate stays the same, which we know that it won't. Mm-hmm. So after you factor in the tax credits that you'll get, the system will only cost you, roughly $18,000 over that same period of time. And the best part is this 113 only takes into account the first $3,500 of this state incentive, right? So you see how that's $92.76. Mm-hmm. So $92.76. 72. Okay, so you get the entirety of this federal incentive, the 96.47.79, the first year, right? So that's the federal incentive. Last year it was 30%, this year it's 26%, next year it steps down to 22%. So that's why you've seen a lot of people that were kind of waiting and holding off last year, going ahead and making the switch now. So you can get $3,500 from the state each year. So that's going to leave roughly $5,800 left over for you guys, right? You guys following me here? Mm-hmm. So if you divide that by that 113, you're going to take 51 months off the term, right? So if that's a 240, it's a 20-year term minus 51. That 20-year term actually turns into a little less than 16, right? 15 3/4. So you'll have to pay this off, and that'll give you a little over 9 years of free warranty, worry-free power, like we were saying before, because everything's on a 25-year term or warranty. So, and then not to mention, I don't know if you were there yesterday, Mr. Valentino, when we said that we're going to do the energy efficiency upgrades, because you guys were looking at doing some blown-in insulation and stuff like that in the attic. Mm-hmm. So we're going to do brand new LED light bulbs, new smart thermostats, solar attic fan, a power optimizer, and IntelliBond. Basically what that is a power optimizer. Sorry, I'll stand up just for a second. My knee's starting to bug me. So a power optimizer is a capacitor that goes on your main breaker panel. And what actually costs you money when you turn on a major appliance is that big spike that happens when you turn it on. What that'll do is kind of level and trickle it down, so you won't have those huge spikes that cost you so much money. IntelliBond the IntelliBond is like fuel injection cleaner for your HVAC unit. And what that's gonna do is boost the efficiency and add life to the unit, to your HVAC unit. Obviously the LED light bulb, smart thermostats will help you guys kind of cut down on your consumption as well. And then the solar attic fan would help with the installation. That will also be doing blown-in installation for you guys as well. So that doesn't cost you anything extra. That's just part of the program. And
so
then,
how does that? So I mean, with the other guy, how does? Because I mean, that came with the thermostat as well as putting the
insulation in.
Yeah. So wouldn't that be?
so you guys have already done the blown-in installation?
No.
No, we were
planning on
planning on doing.
Yeah. So, but you guys are gonna pay out of pocket for that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was gonna like this is included with our solar program, right? Because
Okay.
so the name of our program is Produce and Reduce, right? We want to produce the amount of solar that you need to get 100% of your power, but we want to cut down on the usage that you have and reduce that so you can maximize your savings. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, but what kind of installation are y'all gonna blow in?
Well, without, I definitely need to look in the attic before we leave, just to kind of know what the installation that's up there looks like. Is it relatively older?
Yeah, we have the, like, what is it, the Pink Panther?
Okay,
No,
yeah,
we got that other one.
the foam.
gray.
It's the gray one, the old school.
Yeah, so this is the new foam blown-in insulation. You know, that's going to help reduce your usage by about 10 to 15%, pretty conservatively. Usually with these houses over here, these brick homes that are a little older, you see a higher efficiency boost than that, but we say 10 to 15% just to kind of be on the safe side. So that being said, let's get on back. You guys are going to add $23,000 in value to the home from day one, right? So it's one of those things that you're going to add, you know, if you guys were ever to get to move, right? If you were ever going to move, you would wrap the cost in the solar, whatever you have left, into the sale of your home so you can pull that added equity out. Because the thing with staying with Dominion is you're paying, you know, you're going to make that payment regardless. You're going to keep going up on your rate. You don't really get anything back for that money. So every time you make this solar payment, you're building equity, working toward paying it off the same way that you're, you know, owning your home. You're being able to take ownership and own your power. So it's kind of the same concept. Scary word, I say it all the time, but it's like a mortgage for your power. Just because typically mortgage is cheaper than rent, they can't go up on your rate. It's locked in and you build an equity. So that being said, I want to make sure that I explain this part pretty thoroughly, just because for the first 18 months, it only takes into account of the state incentive or the federal incentive. So South Carolina has an additional 25% incentive that's not available anywhere else in the country. So being that you guys are a Dominion customer, Dominion's based in Virginia, which Virginia is probably the leading state in the country. They've declared to be 100% renewable energy by 2045. So they're kind of leading the charge with that. Dominion being based there, being their largest utility, they're going to be the ones on the hook to make sure that the 100% of the grid is renewable. And then being that, you know, you guys are in the state of South Carolina, have that additional 25%, it makes it so much more affordable. So if you guys only had the 26% from the federal, it would be $155 a month, right? Still good, still saving money, but not, you know, stupendous the way, you know, saving an additional $40 a month would be. So for the first 18 months, that it's under the understanding that all you have is the 26%, just because that's covered on a national scale, right? And then we work with the lending companies they're national, right? So they don't have the specifics in their paperwork for the state incentive. So all they're gonna have displayed is the federal, right? But there's an additional 25% that you guys get to apply, and that's where once you apply that, your payment goes to $113. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
My thing is just the initial cost.
Yeah, so there's no upfront cost for you guys. You guys are already paying your bill with Dominion, right? So all you're doing is swapping one bill for the other one. You'll still pay that $10 connection fee basically, and that 36 cents renewable energy resource charge. And that's just to stay connected to the grid.
Okay, and the 18,000 you said that's gonna be like put on top of the mortgage?
No. It's not on top of the mortgage. It's a separate loan, right? And it's that 18,000 will be what you pay over that period of time, broke down into payments, right? So like I said, you guys are paying Dominion now,
Yeah.
and then over that same period of time, you're gonna pay roughly 44,000 if the rates never go up again with Dominion, right? You don't think about it like that because you just pay your bill when it comes in the mail. But if you think about it on the long game, the longer scale, you're gonna spend much more money with Dominion over that same course of time than you would by going solar, right? 18,000 to 44 is
Big.
big difference. What questions do you have, Miss Valentina? I can kind of tell that you're.
But she would bring it up, you know, here and there. We see houses with the solar
Yeah.
panels on, and like I was there. What it would cost?
Like I literally just said this, the day before y'all, yesterday.
Okay, really?
So that's why I'm like, wow, y'all kind of like just showed up at the door.
Yeah, so being one of the owners of the company, I've been doing this, like I said, about 3.5 years. We've got probably 600 customers here throughout the state. And the reason so many people do it is because, one, it's more affordable here than anywhere else, like I said before. And two, you save money, right? Year one, you guys will save about $876. Year two, you know, as those rates continue to go up, when they do that 14% rate increase, and you know, over time they'll continue to do that. You'll only save more and more money, right? And then one day, you know, if you guys apply all of your incentives, you pay it off in 15 and 3/4 years, and then you've got 9 1/4 years of free, worry-free power. Right, it's completely under warranty. So, you know, it kind of comes down to one of those things. You guys have a perfectly south-facing plane right here on the front of your house. That's not the case for everybody. It doesn't always work. Yesterday when you were like, oh, it sounds like a no-brainer. For people that it works for, it is. And sometimes it's not, based on roof orientation and a few other factors, whether or not they just use very little or too much power that we're not able to get them 100% of the power. But in the event that they are, it's pretty advantageous for you guys as the homeowner.
Yeah, as you can see, we're getting 7
Right now. Yeah, exactly.
from what 10 to.
When did we come by here yesterday? It was 3:30 and it was getting
Still-
beat. Yeah.
It's like all day long.
Yeah.
All day
Yeah,
long.
you guys have right about 15, almost 1,600 sunlight hours, which anything over 1,300 is great for solar. So you guys are, you know, without saying it, the ideal candidate for the program.
No, I mean,
So what would you need to like when would be your time frame?
So typically, so say that we go ahead and get you guys set up. Sometime next week we'll come out, we'll do a site survey. We like to be a little bit more thorough than some of the other companies that are out there, just because we don't want to put our foot in our mouth in 2 or 3 weeks whenever it's time to get it done. Because a lot of other companies, they'll just come through and they'll take pictures, and that leaves a lot of margin for error, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So being that we are a local company and we're based right here in Sunset Boulevard, we just got a little bit more obligation to the community to do it right, obviously. So we're gonna come out and do a site survey. We'll go ahead and do all your energy efficiency stuff, except for probably the insulation, whenever we do the site survey. So all your thermostats, your light bulbs, solar attic fan, the IntelliBond and Power Optimizer will already be done for you. So you'll already start kind of saving money from the efficiency side.
Okay.
And then I'd say our typical time frame is anywhere from about 4 to 6 weeks from the time you sign to the time you're installed. And then you probably got another week or 2 after that for Dominion to come out here, do their inspection and turn it on. Yeah, so a couple
So
years.
they come and double check and make sure.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, so everything that we
You're
do.
not off their grid completely.
No, exactly. So you'll still be tied to
You
the
know
grid.
what I mean? They're like, okay, we need to make sure.
Yes, ma'am. So that being said, you guys will still be able to benefit from the buyback program, and that's the big thing with Dominion is they actually do a true 1-to-1 net metering program, which, you know, again, Dominion, because they have that advantageous program, really makes it appetizing for you guys as the homeowner, because a lot of what's the other one right around here, Mid Carolina. They only retail, they only sell it back to you for about half of what you buy it for. Right, so that's not as good. So you guys are being Dominion customers and being in South Carolina and having a perfectly
Like they
south
bad
facing
that
house.
you
Exactly. Well, and they're a smaller co-op, right? They're not as large as Dominion is. So they're Dominion and Duke, the 2 largest companies in the state, are mandated by law to do a true 1-to-1 net metering program. So last year they extended the state tax credit in South Carolina for an additional 5 years. So that's why it's so great to be able to go. So, because like North Carolina, Florida, Georgia, all they have is the 26%, which is still good, but 51% obviously sounds a lot better if they'll pay for an additional third or fourth of the project cost. So you guys are kind of in the perfect storm, having a south-facing plane, having Dominion, and then being in South Carolina. You know, there really is no sweeter spot as far as being able to go solar. Yeah, so a lot of what we do after the site survey is just red tape, applying for permitting, taking care of all that. Because we are a local company and we do a lot of business here in the Midlands, right, because we're based here, we have great relationships with all the municipalities from permitting as far as the city and the county goes. So they usually expedite our projects just because they know the quality of work that we do. And then we have, you know, after 3.5 years in business, we've really built strong relationships with them as well as with the utility companies and interconnection. So we've installed in every utility in the state, except for Georgetown Electric, because they just won't allow you to do it because they struggle to figure out the math on it. Yeah, they're just like, okay, the math's too complicated, nobody can do solar.
So as far as equipment,
so everything's under a 25-year warranty. I'm glad that you asked that. And that's even, so because, you know, we own the company, we can pick the products that we use, right? And instead of working with a large organization that's so worried about their margins, more so than their people, right? And because we are a local company, we have more obligation to you guys to make sure that, you know, this system isn't just gonna perform for the next 5 years, but for the next 50, right? So it's warranted for 25 years. Everything's usually graded for right about 40. Right, so, and then we also have you know, say that we went out of business, right, heaven forbid, but everything that we install for you has a 25-year product warranty from the manufacturer as well.
okay, so something crazy happens, lightning strikes or,
Yeah,
or
so
a tree falls.
yeah, so everything's going to be covered under your existing homeowners insurance policy. You guys don't need to add any extra coverage because solar's going to work as an extension of your roof. And then again, like I said, everything is under warranty as well. So if anything, and we provide you with consumption monitoring too, which is usually about $3,500 extra for most other companies. But we want you guys to be able to track the production of your system as well as we do, because we actually guarantee the energy production output for 5 years, right? Most other companies, if they have an energy production guarantee at all, it's only for 1 year. So for 5 years, we're going to guarantee the amount of energy that you produce. And then with that consumption monitoring, you guys can have access to that as well as we can on the back end. Just so 9 times out of 10, if there's an issue, we'll catch it before you guys will, so we can get out here and address it right away, because we are on the hook for the output of the system.
Let's see. It's a great idea. I mean, solar energy, getting get a little extra money from that.
Yeah. So, and that's for me. You know, I was in the home security business. I was like I said yesterday, I was the youngest branch manager in ADT's 150-year history. I had my own branch at 22. That was great. Yeah. So that was a great, you know, career for me. Helping people protect their biggest investment. But at the end of the day, that's an expense, right? $40, $50, $60 a month for you know, protection. This is a little bit different. We're able to help save money and put that back in some people's pocket. And some people, you know, that's an extra vacation that their family gets to go on, that $1,000 to $1,500 a year. You know, it's a college fund that they get to start for the kid. They may be able to retire a couple years early, so on and so forth. And just the gravity of that, as well as the environmental impact. Obviously, some people care a little bit more about that than others. But it's just, I don't know, it's a little more purposeful for me. So we like to take it really serious, and you know, our team we've got master electricians, electrical engineers on staff on payroll. I'm a general contractor. We have an additional general contractor on staff on payroll. So just the quality of work, we take it really serious and are committed to your guys' experience, right? Because if you guys have a good experience, you'll tell everybody that you know about how you're saving money. So that's what we want to be able to do, is make sure and ensure that you guys have a great experience. We might not be perfect, but we won't quit until we get it right. Really, and what I found in my experience, in customer service and, you know, being a customer that expects service, really that's all people want. You know, people make mistakes, things happen, there's malfunctions, but as long as we're actively trying to correct any problems, that's all you can really
So
ask
that you
for.
care about the product.
Exactly.
And make sure it's done right.
Exactly, and again, that's why we use the products we do. We could go cheaper, but we want it to, one, be aesthetically pleasing on your roof, two, to be as efficient and productive as possible, and three, just to give you something that's going to have the warranties to maintain that, you know, effective
And
service.
for us to have a peace of mind.
Exactly.
That we have this new equipment on the house.
Exactly.
It's gonna work right. It's gonna be a burden. You know, I definitely don't want it to be a burden.
No, so and typically we you know, once we come in through, we do the site survey. We'll install all the energy efficiency stuff. Like I said, besides the blown-in insulation, well, about 2 or 3 weeks after that, we'll come do the blown-in. 2 or 3 weeks after that, we'll come and install. This is a you know, just under 8 kilowatts, so this is something that we can knock out in a few hours for you guys. From there, you have about a week or two where you're just waiting on Dominion's inspection, their final inspection to come out, just to, you know, give us the green light, and then they'll turn it on for you guys, and then you're saving money.
Yeah, you would always bring it up. So you have an opportunity. So I'm all for it. You just might as well use what we got to. Because we do get a lot of stuff like this house.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, guys, you know, we don't get to say this too often, but this is kind of a, you know, a perfect storm for it. As far as anytime that you guys, you know, some people that have more like just outrageous power bills, right, and dictating by the roof space, sometimes we can't make it work. But you guys are right in that tier where we see the most savings typically. That 175 to probably $225 mark on average spending, right? You're gonna see the biggest savings potential.
Yeah. Knock it down for him, especially because you are.
Exactly. It works for us too.
Yeah, well, you need to